So really all you saw that day was Night Witch decks, whereas Godslayer pretty much just played Lavaloon all his way through with to the table today, because I mean, if they keep...
And you're going to have to psych your opponent out. Here we are, we've got Batman in red along the top, and Unstoppable in blue along the bottom. Both players are not here for this week. They'll be here in future weeks. So, oh, Lightning comes out right away to hit that Elixir Collector. Now, we know from seeing the deck list on the side that Unstoppable's running a 3 Musketeers deck. So that Lightning may come back to bite Batman, but I'm sure he's assuming you see an Elixir Collector, might be a 3 Musketeers deck.
Yeah, that's typically what the deck list is with 3 Musketeers, so we'll have to see how Batman reacts to this. They're the 3 Musketeers on the field now.
Hog Rider comes in on the weak side Musketeer, only 1 Musketeer in the very far back. Even though the Musketeer survives and the Hog Rider dies, Batman has to be thrilled with getting almost 700, more than 700 damage on that tower for only 4 Elixir. That's a great trade.
Yeah, the Executioner is going to come down to defend against Miner, but the Musketeer is going to get some good damage on the left-hand side over there.
One of the strongest uses of Miner that I think a lot of new players don't think of is that if you can use the Miner to quickly get to the side or behind an Executioner, you can turn it around and have that line attack not actually hit anything relevant.
Yeah, and that Hog Rider is going to do a ton of damage. Batman was keen to play that Hog Rider as soon as the Elixir Collector came down on Unstoppable's side.
Oh, good defense by Unstoppable, else that tower was going to go down. Unstoppable did get away with an Elixir Collector here. We might be seeing a 3 Musketeers come out really soon because he's going to have that Elixir advantage in order to do it.
Yeah, now the question is you usually play the 2 Musketeers when you split in the back on the tower with more health, but that would allow Batman to get some lightning value hitting the pump into Musketeers.
You're right, and you'd definitely be afraid of putting a second Elixir Collector anywhere near that other tower. He's actually in kind of trouble because if he puts it there, it's going to get lightninged. If he puts it on the other side, both pumps get lightning. So he's sort of in a tough position. I'm kind of surprised Unstoppable even went for an Elixir Collector as opposed to start cycling the 3 Musketeers, but truthfully, he knows this better than I do, so let's see how he does.
The Night Witch is going to come down to defend against the Hog Rider. The Hog Rider still gets 2 shots off on the tower with the Night Witch and Skeletons to defend it, and that Executioner is going to clean up the Night Witch, no problem.
Great Miner placements, gets avoids the Skeleton, avoids the Knight, gets in that back corner, gets some damage in there. This tower, though, is within lightning range, so we have 45 seconds to go. Lightning comes down. All the pressure is now on Unstoppable to actually, we got to finish that tower off. You know?
Yeah, and his only spell is Zap.
Yeah, he's going to do it with a Miner Zap, and it's sort of weird because he's going for the other lane here, using a Precious Miner, kind of in the wrong side, but what do I know? Yeah.
Oh, great tornado right there from Batman to pull everything away, and the Bats don't have enough health, same with the Skeletons, and they just died of the tornado immediately.
The Log Tornado 1-2 punch cleaned out nearly all of the swarm troops that we're seeing there, and now Unstoppable's in a really bad position. Like you mentioned, Batman's really set him up into a bad spot here. He needs to go on the lower side tower to try to kill it and win the game, but Batman has put it so the only real place he can go is the high health right side tower. And Batman, despite taking a lot of damage on his towers, hey, the only hit point that counts is the last one. Both of his towers are standing. 1 tower's down for Unstoppable. Batman takes game 1.
Yes, and this is what we were saying. Batman loves to control this tempo of the battle. He wants the opponent to play something that they don't want to play, but he just keeps the pressure up so much that he makes them play what they don't want to play.
We call that same too if they want. Let's check out this replay. So we've got, we saw this was one of the key moments in the game where we saw the Knight and the Executioner on the weak side tower, so it's just not an easy target. You just can't really go for that tower when there's already 8 Elixir defending it.
Yeah, and the tornado play right there was perfectly timed.
Amazing.
If Batman didn't have that tornado in rotation, I feel like that would have been the tower gone, and we would have been going into overtime.
And into the arena, Batman is on top, and looks like he is running a P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram deck. Haven't seen that in a while. And we've got Night Witch, 3 Musketeers for Unstoppable on the bottom in blue. I was going to say, do you think we're going to see any of that Night Witch cycle deck today, the one that runs like Ice Golem, Clone Mirror?
No, absolutely not.
Think not? No?
No.
Oh, St. Bellican cries. Okay, we've got split Skeletons followed by split Goblin Gang. These players are trying to size each other up. The early exchanges are very interesting because you're not necessarily trying to get a lot of combat early. I think both players are trying to read their opponent and get that information. Like they want to find out what are you playing, and I can usually tell that if you're playing a few cards that are a tell that give away what you're playing. I think between the Elixir Collector and the Miner, Batman probably has a good read that he's playing a 3 Musketeers deck.
Yeah, and Batman actually got some really good value right there. He was able to lightning the tower, the pump, and the Night Witch, and able to stop the Bats pretty well. Yeah,
that you almost want to play the Night Witch either very far from the tower or way off to the side by the walls of the arena, because when you have a center-placed Elixir Collector like that, it's a big lightning target if anything is in the front yard or center of your towers, and the placement was like just in range for the lightning to hit them. Lost all 3. Of course, the Bats did a pretty good job, but Never know. P.E.K.K.A comes in invested behind the King Tower for Batman, just as Unstoppable plays an Elixir Pump. P.E.K.K.A is a dangerous card to play on offense. It's a really great defensive counter-attacking card. Kind of unfortunate if it's the only thing you have leading your push.
Yeah, and it is a heavy beatdown stopper.
Yes, it's great against these like battle rams and stuff that we're seeing. He's gonna chop that battle ram right up.
One hit, boom, he's gone.
Skeletons, bats, minion horde, they're all so good against it.
Yeah, but the baby dragon, the P.E.K.K.A might not live to make it to the tower.
That's the story of every P.E.K.K.A's life. I guess maybe that's I was surprised that Batman played it early, but the baby dragon is now the point man on the push, and we've got spear goblins chopping up that tower. This could be pretty significant. The miner comes down, but it's too late. Everything's locked onto the tower.
Yeah, the tower was actually tanking. The baby dragon was tanking for the tower, and the spear goblins were able to lock on before that miner came out, and that got in a lot of damage for Batman.
Yeah, I was definitely skeptical about that push, but of course the baby dragon sort of provides a second tank, a backup tank. Unstoppable puts his second elixir collector down on the healthy tower side. If we see a lightning this time, it's going to take out more than the usual amount of pumps, but it'll be on the high health tower and not the sub 1,000 health right side tower that Unstoppable must defend if he wants to win this match.
Yeah, and I think Batman going into double elixir knows at this point Unstoppable does have 3 Musketeers, so I think he's saving the lightning for those 3 Musketeers.
Yes, and that's making it really hard because Unstoppable would normally play 3 Musketeers against this push. Like, you can see him kind of struggling trying to play battle rams on defense, baby dragons, and they're just like not great. That's like not really what you want to be playing. You just want to dump the 3 Musketeers in the middle.
And the baby dragon's going to lock onto the tower here, and this could be the tower down, and Batman is going to take this game.
Ram's still going. Boink! Hits that King Tower. We're going to see a 3 crown in the next 10 seconds?
We might. It looks like Unstoppable is not playing anything. He's got 4 seconds, or we're going to see the first 3 crown of the day.
Just short. Oh, 190 health. But we do see another 2-0 sweep as Batman cleans Unstoppable's clock. Unstoppable gets stopped in the very first match of the Crown Championship Global Series.
Yes, and again, Batman being able to control the flow of the battle in that last push. He was making Unstoppable play cards. He didn't want to just stop the P.E.K.K.A, which allowed Batman to just build up a massive push.
It's so bad.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I couldn't believe, I mean, Batman got his battle ram to hit the tower. Is this the moment? Yes.
Yep.
And then it keeps going to the King Tower. He almost 3 crowned him.
barely missing that 3 crown. That
Yeah,
was insane.
just by
It was like
time.
120 health,
Yeah.
something like that, with
Yeah.
2 baby dragons just assaulting the tower.
Yeah.
That's the king's worst fear.
You really don't see 3 crowns very often.
No, that was so close. He just needed a few more seconds.
Now, I imagine the deck was probably built around the fact that Night Witch exists, which brings us to a fun conversation. Let's talk about Night Witch.
So what are we going to talk about, Final Carpet?
Tell us.
That wasn't a clue at all. So Night Witch, the moment she came out, the meta pretty much had to
Oh,
change.
yeah.
Everyone had to deal with the Night Witch. She's so strong, and she's changing very soon. So I see a lot of these players are relying on her, and I think they're going to have to be careful, because if you rely too much on a card, especially when such a big change is coming, you might face trouble soon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're all solid players. Obviously, Night Witch hasn't been out that long, and I think they're all just kind of taking advantage of her while she's here. They've proven themselves pretty capable with other decks, but definitely, yeah, if they start to lean too heavily on Night Witch, if she gets nerfed, which is happening in the next couple of days,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to learn how to deal with that.
I mean, this is going to be interesting for this tournament because today is the only day that she's going to be able to be played with her current stat.
And I promised you guys that I would explain a little bit more about the scoreboard once we had some points on the board. So now, as you can see, we've got a little bit more going. This makes a little bit more sense. Rice in the lead and Batman following right behind. Something to note, there's some color coded here. This is the round robin stage, and as they move on, they'll be moving into our finals. Essentially, every time you win a match, which is these best of 3 per game, you're going to earn a point, and you're going to get to move up the leaderboard. And if you don't win, you're probably going to move down. If you end in the green, so if you're top 2 by the end of round robin, you get preferential seeding moving into our finals, which means you get a bye. You're essentially immediately into the semis. You get a boost in front of everybody else. But if you're in the bottom 2, you're done for. You don't even actually make it to the finals. Your dreams are crushed. You're pretty much done here. And as far as the Blues concerned, they're fighting for the best seed. So obviously, as you move on to bracket further on, the higher seed you are, the more opportunity you get to play someone that's a lower seed and maybe didn't perform as well.